Hello everyone. So this is kind of a video like to kind of address some things around the Jook Wan Heun, the bamboo, let's say like, or the rattan ring, and just some of the things I've been kind of seeing in the social media, like in some of the YouTube channels, basically saying like, oh, that this piece of equipment like is pretty much useless, or it's a joke, or it's a fad. I really don't know what the kind of particular motives like you are behind like kind of trashing this like as a kind of an instrument or a tool like for training, let's say your hand methods or your trapping methods. But I mean, like from my perspective, I've been using, let's say like one of these. This is probably like the third one like that I've had like this is a plastic one. I had some, let's say like rattan or bamboo ones like before, but I decided like to go one of the plastic ones like just because the other ones were kind of like breaking like over a period of time. But I mean, what I've seen is like a kind of a constant kind of like a denigration of the use of this like as a tool, and I'm just kind of stepping out here like maybe kind of like just raising kind of like some thinking points like around like this particular like device. Now, for me, it's a tool. It's like anything like within a fighter's like a toolbox. So whether it's doing kind of like a focus mitts, whether it's doing like a speed bag, whether it's doing like a heavy bag, those are all tools. They're not actually going to make you, let's say like a superior like a boxer, but they develop like the attributes like that you're actually like going to need. So like doing the speed ball, being able like to hit, let's say like with fluidity, the heavy bag, teaching you to be able to explosively punch. Same, let's say like with the mitts, like being able like to teach you like evasion, let's say like on following like your skills and kind of like your skills like to build up your combinations like punches like over a period of time. So I really don't see like much of a difference between, let's say like the focus mitts, the speed bag, let's say like and the heavy bag, let's say like and like a device like this really. I mean, overall, and I mean like there's so much, let's say like controversy. I won't say controversy, but let's say like divergent like viewpoints as regards like the evolution of Wing Chun, from its base origins, let's say like let's say like White Crane, like Ba He Chuan, like Ba Hok Chuan Kyun, and its metamorphosis like being cross-pollinated and like amalgamated, and maybe bits taken out and bits like added like etc. That's a whole like different like situation. But I mean, this like as an instrument, like and in a lot of, let's say like the southern like Chinese like martial arts, Nam Kyun, it actually forms like an integral like part, let's say like of the kind of the whole overall, let's say like training. So I can't understand, let's say like why, let's say like some practitioners like kind of feel the kind of the need like to maybe like take a joke or make it basically say this is a useless like a piece of equipment, but when it's just one segment like of the overall, let's say like training. So whether you're training, let's say like your footwork, you're training like your hand like methods, you're doing something, let's say like on the mukjang. I mean, the mukjang is basically a tool as well. It's a stationary tool like to kind of teach you your entries, your angulation, and also it's a way of, let's say like kind of memorizing, let's say like that particular like a sequence of combative movements like within the system itself. I mean, it is a piece of equipment. It's a static like a piece of equipment. The only kind of advantage like this might be over, let's say like the mukjang, is like it's a little bit slightly bit more portable. You can take it around like with you, use it like wherever you need to, but you still can't do certain things like on the with the ring that you can do on a mukjang. Like so for example, the kind of like the pulling like your hand, let's say like maneuvers, like these type of like maneuvers, you can kind of simulate it, let's say like a little bit, let's say like these type of trainings like but I mean, like there's advantages like and disadvantages like to every kind of like tool, and I think, let's say like the Jook Wan, like while it's not the supreme, let's say like a training tool. I mean, the optimum, let's say like would at each like a phase like on training, let's say like Chinese martial arts like is usually like to train like with a partner, like, and to train like under the supervision like of a senior instructor or someone more experienced like in the system, that can actually show you like the finer points when you are actually like walking through like the maneuvers. But I mean, like over kind of, let's say, like time, I suppose, let's say, like there's been so many kind of like divergent like approaches, let's say, like to training, let's say, like in Chinese martial arts. You know, a lot of like specific like kind of training methods like have evolved, like on specific like dummies like have evolved. As I said, these are training tools, but I mean the optimum is be able to like to actually like practice like with a kind of a partner, and you know to actually like build up your skills like in your sensitivity skills by working like with a partner, and then like ultimately like leading up to kind of like a sansao or like a sanshao or like a free hand that's like or sparring like so that's just like a kind of like a one like a kind of like a perspective, let's say, like on it as well. I mean, and not just kind of another separate, let's say, like a point, let's say, like around the development, let's say, like of Wing Chun, let's say, like from, let's say, like the metamorphosis like from like a white crane like to Wing Chun. I mean, I think, let's say, like the kind of the founders or the people who are actually like building like this art, I don't think they would have added something like the Jook Wan Heun like to like their grouping of kind of like skill sets and like on training like methods without actually having like investigated it like over a period of time and actually found some value in it. I mean, the one thing, let's say, like I have like kind of seen, let's say, like with kind of like some of the practitioners, and it's always it's like divergent, let's say, like points like on perspectives on these things like always, but really, let's say, like from if you're kind of talking, let's say, like a center line, let's say, like a protection, like some people are saying, let's say, like you're doing, let's say, like these things with the Jook Wan, this, it's creating an outside like a pressure like which really doesn't like a fit, let's say, like the Wing Chun, let's say, like model. It would be more something like better suited, let's say, like to kind of like one of these kind of open, let's say, like guards, let's say, like that you might see, let's say, like in white crane, let's say, like or like no cho, let's say, like or like mantis, let's say, like or whatever like the case may be. So it kind of suits that type of, let's say, opening outward or opening up, let's say, like a type of, let's say, like energy like to actually split apart, let's say, like the guard or the open like a position, let's say, like and then like kind of crash in and basically like control, let's say, like the opponent after that. Whereas some of the principles, let's say, like in Wing Chun, let's say, like kind of, let's say, like turning, let's say, like kind of pivoting, it mightn't like fit in, let's say, like with that particular like a paradigm, and it makes maybe a Wing Chun practitioner like possibly, let's say, like exposed like to kind of counters like which is kind of maybe against like the principles of like sticking like and adhering like to the person, rather than this outward kind of opening, kind of opening up, let's say, like the guard of the person, and then like going down like the center like after that. So I mean, it's all kind of like about perspective and how you kind of like train these things like overall. I suppose that's like one thing like I've kind of found it's like a benefit, let's say, like when training like the Jook Wan, is that the whole mental element, as in like each time I'm actually like practicing like the actual moves, I'm actually like practicing like the intent, let's say, like on the form, let's say, like so that I'm just putting enough, let's say, like energy like behind, let's say, like maybe kun sao, let's say, like or bong sao or whatever the case may be, that it's just enough, let's say, that I'm actually feeling the kind of the ring, let's say, like against like the outer part of my forearm, just to kind of maintain like some of that contact like and in shape, you know, and like having that sense of like the enemy, or like that you're actually like practicing like with a partner, or actually like feeling like the kind of the techniques. I mean, there is the kind of corollary, let's say, like benefit like that you are with a Jook Wan doing these particular maneuvers, like it is kind of toughening your arms like that little bit. And if you kind of train it in a little bit of a harder, let's say, way, you do kind of like build up like quite a bit of, let's say, like forearm strength, let's say, like on your especially let's say like the bones like on the outer side like of the arm, let's say like they do kind of get like toughened up, let's say like quite quickly. But I mean, I have kind of seen let's say like as well this kind of perspective like that, you know, there's a lot of kind of criticism of the Jook Wan, let's say like by let's say like people who might be affiliated, let's say like to one particular like Hong Kong line or Hong Kong branch, let's say like of Wing Chun, like etc. I mean, at the end of the day, like there's a vast diaspora like within the Wulin or the martial forest, like if you want to call it that, like varying like kind of like perspectives. I think really now, let's say like at this stage of kind of the advancement of let's say like Chinese martial arts, we're actually being a lot more open and kind of forthright with each other, and actually people are genuinely interested about the history and the way like certain arts like have developed, and what are the kind of the perspectives let's say like that cause those particular like developments. I mean, I've had the opportunity like to kind of train a mainland let's say like Wing Chun let's say like style for a brief like a period of time, and I was fortunate enough let's say like to visit Hong Kong and train let's say like over the course of let's say like 2.5 weeks like with a number of different schools, and I got a lot of like valuable like information let's say like perspective on it. And I mean, even let's say like within the kind of the Yip Man lineage of let's say like Wing Chun, a lot of the schools have their own let's say like kind of like viewpoints like on why a particular form let's say Sinam Tao like or one particular technique is done in a certain way, and what are the particular like principles like behind it. And I often found let's say like that even like these schools, even though the line comes down let's say like from Yip Man, that they have their own let's say like valid like points like perspectives, like and it's just, it might have been let's say like with that teachers like a particular understanding at the time, or as they grew let's say like with the art, which is another thing. I mean, people do think about like their art. I don't, if you're not actually thinking about your martial art and thinking about how to make it better and actually let's say make it more effective, or the other flip side of it, teach it more effectively like so that people like can pick it up let's say that much quicker within a shorter period of time. If you're able to kind of cut down those gaps, that's really like something that's important. But I think if you're not thinking about let's say improving your kind of martial art or the art that you're studying, or thinking of different ways like to deliver the content like itself, you're kind of doing a disservice to it. But getting back like to the kind of the main point, I went off on a tangent there. I mean, even like within so many let's say like lines let's say like of Yip Man like Wing Chun, you have like varying like viewpoints. And I mean, you have to kind of consider this as well, like I mean, Yip Man let's say like as a martial artist, over his lifetime, obviously he picked up like various like different ideas and exchanges with like seniors like within like the Wing Chun community. I mean, I've heard like stories about let's say like different groups of let's say like Chinese martial arts masters like meeting up let's say like in Hong Kong like in these get-togethers, and I believe Yip Man let's say like met with a number of other let's say mainland Wing Chun practitioners who kind of came over a period of time, and they met like in this particular like area, Dai Dak Lan, and I mean they exchanged like ideas like on perspectives, and like that's how the art kind of grows and kind of solidifies like and gets better. I suppose let's say like maybe for some let's say like Wing Chun practitioners like the kind of the Jook Wan like kind of seems like a kind of a goofy kind of like a device like, and it's not really like their jive. But I mean, I've looked at this actual like a kind of topic like quite kind of heavily like over like the last let's say like 5 years, and like seeing like all the other kind of branches of like southern Chinese martial arts like that integrate like this device like from Mantis, like to Hung Kyun, to a number of the other let's say like southern Chinese martial arts like White Crane. I've seen let's say like other practitioners let's say like in other countries like near to let's say like Southeast Asia like using like this device like as well. And I mean, even if you're bringing it into more kind of contemporary let's say like times, I mean, seeing like some martial luminaries like let's say like James Keating like using like the Jook Wan like ring like for kind of focusing on like knife trapping and knife evasion, let's say like on doing all of those things like based off of his own training like within, I think it's the red boat, let's say like, or junk boat, let's red junk boat line of, let's say like a Wing Chun, like you're taking those concepts and like you're kind of putting them on a different, let's say like a platform, specifically knife fighting. It's pretty interesting like to kind of see that. So I mean, I think, let's say like like just the kind of the final point that kind of like I would like to conclude with is that, I mean, the Jook Wan, let's say like is essentially a tool, and it's a tool, let's say like that you can use, let's say like in a number of different ways. You could use it that you can I've actually used like this device, let's say like on kind of the larger ring, let's say like for some the northern Shaolin methods. I've learned like over time, like in using it as a kind of a means of resistance, like to kind of like do these larger, let's say like maneuvers. It just really kind of comes down like to how you actually use the tool itself. I mean, there's people who can show you really sloppy like stuff, let's say like with the speed bag. There's people who could show you really kind of bad like kind of levels like of kind of like using like the focus mitts like on the same, let's say like with the heavy bag, the kicking bag, whatever. It's all down, let's say like to the level of skill that you actually want to develop, and thinking about it, reflecting upon it, and actually trying to better like yourself like each time by using like that particular like tool. There's no two ways like about it. So that's pretty much like what I wanted to say. Like I know it's a pretty long video, like maybe 15 minutes like but it's just something I kind of felt I needed to say, that I've been kind of observing like over the last like a number of months like and the last like maybe I'd say 2 or 3 years, where a number of practitioners like within the Chinese martial arts community are basically saying the Jook Wan is a useless like a piece of equipment, and like to the contrary, like I think it isn't. Like I think it's a very like a valuable like a piece of equipment like that a lot of practitioners could probably get a lot of benefit out of. So thanks for listening. Catch you again soon.